Hey guys, Jacob here. I was just wanting to make a quick video for you guys on how to use OBS in the Racer Esports lab. I know a couple of you have been wondering how to set it up. You guys have never even touched it before, or you're just kind of uncomfortable with using new software. So I just wanted to show you guys how to use this. That way you guys can record or you can stream while you're in the Racer Esports lab. Both doing recording and streaming is going to be really great at expanding Racer Esports and letting people know we exist. So that's always good. So yeah, we'll get right into it. So first, before we set up any kind of like pictures or videos or gameplay to be in the screen, first we need to go into some boring settings to fix those up, so everything runs perfectly smooth for your viewers. So on the bottom right here, we're going to go into settings, and then the first thing that we need to go to is video. So the first thing that we're going to set up is our base canvas. I think default this is going to be set to 1080p. You need to switch that to 1440p, also known as 2K. Since these monitors are 2K, that's what we need to set it to. That's base canvas, that's what it usually always need to be set to. And then output is going to be 720p. That's what we're going to be actually recording at or streaming at. We essentially scale this down so that the computer isn't actually bogged down trying to record at 2K, because that's a lot of data compared to 720p. And then also down here, you need to double check that your FPS is set to 60 instead of 30. I'm pretty sure 30 is the standard number there, or default number. So after you do that, you can go ahead and click apply after that. And then we're going to move on to output. Here's another really important tab. Basically everything that's going to be set for the quality of your stream is going to be here and in video. So first we have to set the video bitrate. Through some personal just testing and stuff like that, I've found that recording/streaming at 4000 bitrate is pretty great for here in the lab. It's not going to tax you that much on performance. In Overwatch, while playing at medium settings, I never dipped below 144 frames, which is great because that's what the monitors here in the lab use. And if it dips below 144, it kind of messes with my gameplay. So this is perfect. So again, just set this to 4000 here in the lab, and then double check that your encoder is on the hardware INVEC encoder. This encoder uses the GPU, the graphics card on the computer in the lab, instead of the CPU. And since our devices in here have some really good GPUs, this allows the computer to do OBS and your game still at a good smooth setting for you to play your game at. So we're going to go ahead and move into recording now. First, we got to set up our recording path. So you can just click browse and navigate to any folder you want to. I usually keep mine in the videos folder because i.e. they are all video files. So that makes sense to me. You can set that anywhere. Yeah, so we ask in the Racer Esports lab that after you finish recording a VOD or recording anything, that you upload it to Google Drive or OneDrive or something like that, and then immediately delete it off of the machine. That way the devices aren't filled with gigabytes upon gigabytes of files in here. That way everyone can use the machine the same way, and we don't have to be hindered by disk usage or anything. And then some more settings here in the recording tab. Record quality, same as stream, keeps it simpler that way. And then record format, you'll make sure that's MP4. I'm pretty sure default is MKV. So again, make sure this says MP4. That's just a very standard recording format and file format for people to use in Adobe Pro or any kind of editing software. So that's pretty much it that we have to do in here. And then the final thing that we are going to do is you can either do streaming one or two ways. You can connect your Twitch account, which is pretty easy. You just click here, and then it should bring up a login page. Yep, there it is. So you just enter in your Twitch information, and then OBS will automatically pull your chat and some stream information tabs down here for you to use. And then also, if you're not comfortable with signing in on Twitch, you have what's called a stream key, and that should be like a series of numbers that you can input here, and then OBS will send the stream to that stream key, and then Twitch will receive that stream and stream it onto your channel. So, all right, that's pretty much all the settings that we have to go through here. So another thing we can mention is hotkeys. So one thing that I do a lot is I have hotkeys for switching scenes. That way I don't have to open up OBS and manually click on which scene to switch to. So you can do that in the hotkeys tab here. And as you can see, there's a lot more other stuff to do, as you can do a start and stop recording button, pause recording, stuff like that. Like I said, I don't do much for anything other than switching. One thing you might want to consider doing in the Racer Esports Lab, especially if your team or players are pretty loud, you can do a push to mute, push to talk, or mute unmute. This is good in case there's a lot of comms that are getting cluttered, like people yelling comms, and you don't want that to come into your open mic. Because in OBS, whenever you have a audio device, it's automatically set to open mic. So again, you can come down here and set that differently if you choose. All right, so that should be all the boring settings out of the way for us to stream, and so now we can actually do we can actually set up our VOD video settings here. So the first thing, obviously, you want some gameplay, right? That's what we do here. So first, you can come down here to sources while you're on your recording tab. I think default this is going to be called scene. You can right-click and rename it to whatever you want, but mine is called recording since that's what I plan to do on this one. So first, like I said, we want to get some gameplay in here. So I'm going to do add. I'm going to add the source. The main three sources we'll talk about in this thing is display capture, game capture, and image. Display capture is what I'm using right now to record everything in a separate OBS application right now. So that includes like my taskbar, my icons, anything down here. You can even see this top part. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our gameplay recording. So first we're going to do game setup, or game capture, apologies. So we'll go to game capture, and then usually I do capture specific window, just so I know exactly which window OBS is trying to capture. And since I'm playing Overwatch, I'm going to select Overwatch since it's open. And then there we have it. So Overwatch, you can see it's actually pulling the gameplay already. And then the background, it's already applied it to the canvas here. So there we go. If I wanted to, I could hop into Overwatch, and in OBS you could see that it would be moving and everything. So something else that we're going to ask people to include on their VODs or streams while they stream in the lab is the Murray State Esports logo. That's just going to help out people understand what's happening and what you're streaming from and what you're affiliated with. So to do that, we're going to go to the plus again, and then go to image. And then you can name it whatever, or you can keep it named image, but I'm going to call it Racer Esports logo. Keep everything organized. And then it's going to prompt you to browse. And I saved mine in my pictures folder, so here it is. All right, it pulls it up fine. If you have any issues, you might have to re-download the picture or something just to make sure it's not corrupted or whatnot. PNGs will show up. They have these nice little curves here. They have a transparent background, so that's nice. So we're going to click OK. This is the image we want. And as you can see, the source will kind of snap into place. So that's pretty easy for placement. For the logo, I actually like to put it right down here, the bottom left. Oh, I don't want to click on that. So I just clicked and dragged on the actual gameplay. And so if I wanted to, for some crazy reason, I could put the gameplay down here. And OBS recently included these like lines here to show you, hey, this source is off the canvas and will not actually be shown on records and VODs. So for gameplay, we probably just stick to having it right there. But back to this image, so I'm going to click and drag down here, and then using these little red squares on the top, I'm going to size it to what I want. So I'm going to put it all the way down here. That looks good. So now anyone that looks at my stream, they're going to say, hey, he's somehow streaming with Murray State Esports. So that's just another way for you to show that you are affiliated with us, to get our name out there, especially if you stream. And then another thing that we're going to request is that you include your name while you stream on the actual recording overlay. So that way, if someone clicks on the VOD, they know exactly who's playing. They don't have to look up like any other thing, like the account who uploaded the video or any other kind of weird info. They'll know immediately by seeing the name somewhere on. I usually keep my name right here just because I've already got this logo here. It just looks to fit in pretty nicely up on top there. So we can do that by adding a text source. So go to the plus and then text. I call this FlavFilth since that's what it is going to say. And then down here, the text I want to display, you can honestly type in whatever you want to, and you can see up at the top left, it's just starting to add that text in one straight line. but that is obviously not my gamer tag, so I'm going to delete that. So what I want to display is FlavFilth, and that's it. And then you can, in the font, you can usually do a whole lot of different things. For me, I like to just bump it up to the max at 72, just so it looks nice and crisp. And then in fonts, I also like to just do Comic Sans. I know some people don't like Comic Sans, but I like how laid back it looks. So there we go, FlavFilth. FlavFilth, you can see it up there. And then there's some other stuff that you can do here. There's some other different settings, like different color options and a whole lot of other things. But for now, that's all we're going to include. So I'm do OK. And then similar to the image, I'm just going to click on it and move it around. And then it will snap on top of the image like that. And then again, I'm going to use these red squares on the top left and just kind of size it to what I want. And there we have it. So we've got our game capture set up, we've got our Murray State Esports logo, and we've got our gamer name up here. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions on just stuff in general or any of the settings didn't work for you, just message in the how-to chat text channel in the Murray Esports Discord channel, and someone who's pretty fluent in OBS can probably help you out pretty quick there. So, all right, guys. Good luck recording VODs and good luck streaming.